is for the player to leave for less than the release clause. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep you posted on the transfer market. And today, guys, many things to mention. It's about Ancelotti, Xabi Alonso, Brazil, Real Madrid, something on Barcelona, and also on one of the most wanted strikers in Europe, Gyokeres. Let's jump into it together. And so, guys, let me start today with the news, which is a confirmation of something I've been telling you for weeks, months, and now is official. Arsenal have a new director of football, and the director is Andrea Berta, former Atletico Madrid director, who did an impressive job at Atleti together with Diego Simeone, but by signing important players, building the structure of a squad which did really well by winning titles, Champions League finals and more, and now Andrea Berta joins Arsenal as a crucial part of the project because he will be working next to Mikel Arteta on planning the squad for present and future. He's going to be really busy because many changes are expected in the summer. We expect Arsenal to be really busy in this window, obviously to sign a center striker, but not only, winger position. Let's see what happens with Jorginho, Thomas Partey, players who could leave, the new contracts of Bukayo Saka, William Saliba. We will be talking on that because it's going to be one of the priorities for the new director Andrea Berta, but for sure important confirmation of a big story. Despite all the rumors on Olab and more, Andrea Berta was our name for Arsenal job, and now it's official. Then, guys, I wanted to add something on Barcelona because according to my information, it's true what is being reported around. Barcelona are closing in on the agreement to extend the contract of Wojciech Szczesny for one more season. What they're waiting is two final details. The first one is to understand when Szczesny will say, okay, let's proceed, because they already spoke to his agent, they prepared the details of the contract, so they've been working on the contract structure, just waiting for the player to give the final approval, the final green light, and then everything will be ready to be signed. And then it's about the option into the contract. So they have to decide whether to extend for one more season, 2026, and that's it, or maybe include an option for one more season, valid on both sides, player and club. So let's see what happens there, but it's about the final details. The expectation at Barcelona is to extend the contract of Wojciech Szczesny. Really happy at the club. I told you it was like 3 weeks ago how Hansi Flick gave his own green light to Szczesny staying at Barcelona, even with Ter Stegen ready to return from his injury. The idea is to have two very important and competitive goalkeepers, and so Szczesny is absolutely approved by Hansi Flick. But in general, internally Barcelona, they're very happy with Szczesny also in terms of attitude, in terms of leadership, with this dressing room full of young players, of super talented kids. It's important for Barca to have some leader like Szczesny, player with big experience, and so they want to extend this contract, and the agreement is almost completed, waiting on the final two small details. Then, guys, let me mention something on Gyokeres, because this weekend Gyokeres scored again. His numbers are really unbelievable. Imagine he has scored 42 goals in 42 games for Sporting this season, plus 11 assists. So it's 53 goal contributions in 42 games. For a center striker at Sporting, it's not something easy. It's unbelievable what Gyokeres has been doing in the last few years, because also last season he was top. This season performing again. Let me tell you once again what's my information on Gyokeres. 2 points to clarify. The first one, the verbal pact for the exit of Gyokeres this summer is for the player to leave for less than the release clause. So for something around 65, 70 million euros with the loans as part of the package, Gyokeres could leave Sporting this summer. And the expectation is for Gyokeres to go and to try a new experience in the summer. So the verbal pact was Gyokeres was not going to force for an exit 1 year ago. Gyokeres was not even forcing for an exit in January when they lost Ruben Amorim. So imagine what kind of change, a shock was that for Sporting and for the top player, Gyokeres. He decided to respect that, but now in the summer, the exit is almost guaranteed and on different conditions. So something around the 65, 70 million euros. Then we have to see the structure of the package, the add-ons and all the rest. But for sure, the idea is to reduce the price of the release clause. So Man United, many stories, many rumors on Manchester United. For sure they appreciate the player. For sure Ruben Amorim is obviously a big fan of Gyokeres, but at the moment it's not something guaranteed. Man United have not agreed anything at this stage for Gyokeres. He's one of the names for sure on the list, but we have to see when Manchester United will approve the budget to understand how much they can spend on the striker. So they like Gyokeres, yes, but it's not only Manchester United. There are more clubs, and so it's going to be an important fight in the next months for Victor Gyökeres. And then, guys, we have to focus also on some manager situation. Today, Red Bull Leipzig fired Marco Rose, so always things happening. Also in the break, I told you about Tudor going to Juventus, Thiago Motta out. But the big story is about Brazil. Brazil decided to fire the manager Dorival Jr. After the terrible performance against Argentina. So it's over for Dorival, and now they have two main options. The dream target is Carlo Ancelotti. Internally at the federation, they wanted Ancelotti 2 years ago. Probably you remember that they were already announcing Ancelotti in public with the president of the federation, but then the deal was not done, and now the appreciation for Ancelotti remains from Brazil. But at the moment, Ancelotti doesn't want to entertain any negotiation, any approach, any contact. Full focus on Real Madrid, too many important titles to focus on, to have conversations with any other side, national team, clubs, is not in Ancelotti's style. So no conversations ongoing with Brazil, but he remains the big dream target. But Brazil now have to decide. Wait for Ancelotti, end of the season, end of the Club's World Cup, see what happens, or go on an instant solution like Jorge Jesus, who is ready to say yes to Brazil after the end of the season, so beginning of May for Al Hilal. So it really depends on the federation. Go on an instant solution or wait for the dream Ancelotti. But at the moment, Ancelotti is not going to negotiate. Full focus on Real Madrid, because Ancelotti still obviously dreams of winning more titles with Real Madrid and eventually stay at the club. Otherwise, we know at Real Madrid, despite the public statements from Germany, the idea of Real Madrid is that as soon as they have cleared the situation of Carlo Ancelotti, could be this summer, could be next summer, could be in any moment, what's important to do and to mention is that the top target remains absolutely only Xabi Alonso. For Real Madrid, is gonna be Xabi Alonso. When they part ways with Ancelotti, again, we will see whether it's gonna be this summer, next year, or whenever. Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen already know, they both know, also the club, that Xabi Alonso is the candidate for Real Madrid. So Bayer Leverkusen absolutely know that Xabi Alonso is more than tempted by this opportunity, but it depends on Real Madrid. It's in the hands of Real Madrid. When Real Madrid will call for Xabi Alonso, everything will be set to be the new Real Madrid coach. But it has to be at the right moment. At the moment, the call didn't arrive yet, and so that's why Xabi Alonso goes in public and says, there is nothing to say, there is nothing to update. That's what he did over the weekend, because at the moment there is still no call, no formal proposal from Real Madrid. But at the end of the season, we see what happens with Ancelotti. In any case, this summer, next summer, Real Madrid want Xabi Alonso. You remember I was coming here telling you for a long time, the option internally at Real Madrid for fullback position is number 1, 2, 3, and also 4 and 5. Trent Alexander-Arnold, now I can tell you, again, as I told you for months, that Xabi Alonso remains, despite the public statements, the top target for Real Madrid job when they will part ways with Ancelotti. But again, full focus on the present, and Real Madrid are still giving full confidence to Carlo Ancelotti. And so, guys, tell me your thoughts on all these stories. Carlo Ancelotti, Xabi Alonso, what's your feeling on this? And also, Szczesny staying at Barcelona, your opinion on the goalkeeper. And guys, Victor Gyokeres, 65-70 million euros. Which club should go and sign him? Let me know here in comments. Like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.